And before you were kind of talking about how, like, you couldn't really define Land O'Lakes, like people just pass through it. You want to talk about that?
I mean, you wouldn't even. We just kind of like blend in. There's no like you know, kind of when you're like, oh, this is Tampa, like, oh, this is, you know, blah blah blah. But if you drive through here, it's kind of like here.
We really didn't look at the community when we lived there. I just assumed it was just like West Chase, but a little further away. It was not.
What defines Lando?
I don't even know how to describe it. It was half suburban, half rural.
That's why I think Hickburbia describes this place pretty nicely.
It's a pretty conservative town, as evidenced by every election. We're always red, and there's myriad Trump signs, and people are pretty proud of their conservatism.
The most homogenous place I've ever lived, even more so than West Chase. It was 97% white.
What else?
Yeah, I was say, what else defines suburbs?
Well, we have a lot of churches.
A lot of churches. Trucks. We should have some sort of bingo game for all the trucks we see around here. Chrome side tail lights.
Giant lifted tires. Big tires and
with an American flag, giant American flag. Maybe
or a rebel flag.
Or a rebel flag. Racer stripe of camo and then all camo.
Giant antenna.
Oh, those loud muffler things that come off the
like
top.
the smokestack thing or like whatever. I don't know what
I feel like there should be some sort of bonus points if it's blasting either country or rap music.
It's usually rap music.
I know, yeah.
I guess some people aspire to be like super country, but they live in like a gated community or something.
That's what always got me.
So redneck. I'm like, you just wear camo and drive a truck. That doesn't make you...
The same way that, like, black culture or black people, like, get annoyed with appropriation, that actually happens with redneck culture. People would move out here and, like, be like, oh, I moved here, so I'm redneck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm country.
I'm country. Like, no, you're not.
And I think, and there was a difference. There were the country rednecks. There were the suburban rednecks, and then there were the wealthy rednecks. Although that is something about Land O'Lakes. There's some wealth fucking here.
I saw like a Bentley the other day. I'm like,
sometimes
where and who?
The ratio of like ultra really nice expensive cars to trucks, like pickup trucks, seems off. We forgot to mention, yes, Land O'Lakes is the nudist capital of the U.S.
The U.S.
All right, let's name our nudist resort.
We need to look this up.
So we got Paradise Lakes, which is the living facility for the nudists. And then Caliente is the resort for the resort. I went there for a foam party when I was a senior in high school. Don't go to nudist resort.
I'm gonna look.
You say there's a third one. Yeah, you
have
gotta
Lake
look at the third
Como.
one.
Lake Como.
Okay.
So that should probably give you an idea of where I live.
As you can tell, Land O'Lakes is not the most youth-friendly place in the world, but you did what you could to help the hours tick by.
So Land O'Lakes is basically a boredom-inducing place.
So what is there to do when you're bored here?
Without a car, nothing. It was really bad when you were young, like before you could drive or knew somebody who would drive. I mean, you could only go as far as you could walk. I mean, this is, I think, a 2-mile walk. Sonic is a 2-mile walk from Plantation Palms. That is one thing about Land O'Lakes. It's very unpedestrian friendly. Parking lots are considered a more valuable use of space than, say, a sidewalk or a bike lane.
To make them more freaking walkable. I think that having to get in a car to do everything does nothing for the community. I think it's it makes it sad. It makes it, even if you don't have a car, you can't live there. If you have a car that works on a regular basis, you can't live there. Buses are like, who are they going to drop off? They're going to steal our TVs.
And then once you got a car, you could just get to like the 5 places you could hang out quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, there's still nothing to do.
Because all there is like strip shopping centers and fast food restaurants and a Walmart and a Target. And that's basically it.
And talk to me about high school and how you entertained yourself.
Yeah, so basically there's a lot of bored kids here in Land Lakes. It's gonna happen. So either you're just driving around aimlessly or looking for someone to smoke weed or hanging out, like I said, at Walmart or Starbucks. Starbucks is Starbucks now. I remember Moe's was a big thing in high school, going to hang out at Moe's.
It was Monday.
Oh my God.
It was popular here when you didn't have anywhere to go to use other people's rec centers or country clubs or whatever they happen to have in there. That was pretty much Land O'Lakes, just filling your time and trying to find trouble.
But there were a few productive ways to keep yourself occupied.
In clubs and sports, there's definitely a community vibe. Clubs don't get as much attention. I had more fun in clubs. I got to expand my horizons a little more. Sports, on the other hand, were just another religion here. There was definitely this air of entitlement to people involved in sports. Even like the smallest sport that nobody would show up to. There's just something in this community about sports just being the epicenter of everything in your life.
While star athletes were like local celebrities, the hyper-competitive nature of small-town sports intimidated many.
Like at Land O'Lakes, nobody tried out for sports unless you were good, unless you'd been doing it your whole life. Cheerleading was especially one of those, along with football. Being a bench warmer was like having the scarlet letter on your chest. Why do you even try?
So with few other options, many had to find creative and sometimes dangerous ways to keep busy.
I'll never forget they had that obnoxious fountain at the opening to Plantation Palms. And I remember driving out one morning and I saw somebody had just put like dish soap in it, so it was all the bubbles. I remember thinking, it's about time, because this is kind of funny and fun, and it's better than everybody stealing their mom's Xanax and getting together in someone's house, because that's what y'all were doing.
There was shady ass shit going down in there.
But people don't think it is, because it's a nice gated community and you're safe and nothing bad could happen here. Look.
And it was just a normal thing for like people to have all these drugs that no one would ever talk about. Like doctors were writing prescriptions like it was nobody's fucking business. I don't know the statistics, but I feel like both the kids and the parents, if you look back at who was doing drugs back when we were in high school, it was pretty even.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
It all had to do with physical, and very little thought was given to mental health and to other things like that. Troubled kids just flocked to each other and to these drugs, and it became this very toxic environment. But yeah, there's, I think, a lot of shit went on inside the homes that nobody really, everyone kind of turned a blind eye to.
These people's need to be safe, and they feel that being with people their own kind keeps them safe, and that just makes it an echo chamber. It doesn't make it safe. It doesn't make your kids safer at all. It insulates them.
It feels like in this place you kind of have to hide or tone down certain aspects of yourself if you don't want trouble. Not that anybody's gonna come like burn a cross in your yard, as far as I know. But you find yourself self-censoring.
There was even any inkling of a Black Lives Matter movement or any kind of protest of that sort here, it would not go well.
That did not fly at Land Lakes. We tried to start a gay straight alliance.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
It was probably the most racist place I've ever lived in my life. So much, and just not even subtle. It's some people are just kind of proud of it, which that's why Trump doesn't surprise me, because I'm sure Land O'Lakes isn't isolated.
For all that me and my mom have to say, my family's experience pales in comparison to Eric's. As a black gay man adopted by a white family in a red religious county, he easily has one of the most unique perspectives of culture here.
So, growing up in like a predominantly white town, you kind of just don't want to make like too much of a ruckus, you know. I guess it helped that I lived with a white family. I was the only black kid in pretty much every single one of my classes. You know, starting from, you know, pre-K, kindergarten on. So, you know, you hear some things, some questionable things, you're just like, okay, cool. Like, you don't really realize it till you're like older, like, wow, okay, that's kind of fucked up. So I'm pretty much token from South Park. But everyone wants to be your friend, because, like, you know, all white people want, like, a cool black friend. I was, like, the cool black friend. Some would say not black enough. I'm like, you're white. What does even being black mean to you? And then they'd say something, oh, racist. So I'm like, exactly.
You know, why do you think racism was a bigger problem for you than homophobia?
Pretty much because, I mean, you know, you wear your race on your skin, basically, and no one's really gonna know if you're gay or not unless you're, like, overly flamboyant. So that wasn't really, which I'm not. I mean, it happens in spurts, you know. I'll get a little flamboyant, but no one really made fun of me for that, because I was just, you know, it's pretty low key. But when you're the only black person in class or out in public or whatever, you know, people are gonna look at you, someone may say something. It's kind of just like, it's kind of what you do, you know? You just hear dumb comments like that, you just like brush it off. It's the grand scheme of things. People are gonna be how they're gonna be, so yeah, I guess I feel like I'm pretty much myself, but I didn't really always express that when I was younger. Probably has to do with being autistic too, but kind of like a product of the environment as well, you could say. So, I mean, yeah, I guess it's easier. Obviously, it'd be easier if I was white and not gay, but whatever. I am who I am.
Fuck yeah.